My name is Paulie Skerrett, and this is Digital Skills for Parents. There's been courses that's been going out, and it's like 6 weeks to learn how to do digital skills for your children. Beginner's guide. That's too long. It's too long to be waiting around trying to find out what to do. We're going to have to deal with this within a space of 20 minutes, a space of 30 minutes. We need to get this dealt with immediately. So what we're going to do is that we're going to install Veyon, and Veyon will allow us to access our children's computers. We can remote and we can view, so that when they are doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, we have eyes on them. Okay, so this will stop all the, what are you doing, and the teachers calling us or sending us an email saying your child hasn't done their work. Well, while you're doing your work, you can actually see what they're doing with their work. And this is an example. This is Najah here. Say hi, Najah.
Hello.
Okay, and this is her computer over here, and we've got Veyon installed. Hi, Sam. Could you hear us? Are you moving around on her screen right now? Yes, please. Yes, please. If you could just do a remote and just move across. Uh, okay, so like if you can click on any of the buttons at the top, like file, that so people can see that it's happening over this side. Yep. So that's by using Veyon. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across to Sam's computer, and you can see the control on that side before I show you how to install it. We're now walking over to Sam's computer where I will show you. This is Sam. Hi, Sam. Okay, let's have a look on the machine. This is what we saw upstairs by using Veyon. Could you show them the control panel for Veyon, please?
Like that?
Yep. And this is Veyon installed. You can see all three machines that we have in the house being used, and what people are doing, what our children are doing. We have full control over their machines. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Now that you've seen how it works on two machines, let us go into the installation. Now you can either use your Chrome or your Edge, it doesn't matter which one. I have two screens, so I have to drag this over to my screen so you can see it. And we're going to type in Veyon. The first one that I've got is veyon.io. That's what you should be downloading. Select download. Then you have choices. You have Windows, Linux, or source code. Either you're going to have 64-bit or 32-bit. To find out which one it is on your machine, you can type in system at the bottom on my left. Zoom in a bit, and you select. And as you scroll down, you'll see the type. System type is 64-bit based PC. You may have 32. So whichever one that you have, you can install. Windows 64-bit is mine. I will download. It depends on how fast your broadband speed is, how fast it will download. Once it's downloaded, you can then run. Now, you can open or show in folder. Just go to open. Yes. It will begin the installation. Say next. You have to read the agreement. Select I agree. Select the destination. It should be as default. Go into your C drive, programs, and Veyon. And then because you are the master controller, you're the parent in charge of what is taking place, you need all three default as it is, so you don't change a thing. When it comes to installing on your children's machine, you will take off the Veyon master, but for your machine you will leave it exactly as it is, and then you install. Then you can run and press finish. This is the Veyon configurator page. In the general, you'll select your language. I've got English, so I'll leave it as it is. You may have to select which one of these you want. Choose the key file, authentication. Password is so outdated now, and because they're not secure. So let's just go with the key file. As long as the person has the key file, it will then be able to access what's happening. Back end bulletin. This needs to be set as the back end, not LDAP, but built-in computer. That's the one that you should have it on. Updated every 60 seconds, that's fine. Then we move on to services. In the services, I have show notification when an unauthorized access is blocked. That's fine, leave it as it is. I've got it running, so if yours is stopped, have yours running. Then the session, single session, fine as it is. Plugin, built-in VNC. If you have not got that selected, select that. Okay, then we move down to master. We can leave that exactly as it is. The behavior is here. You can, in your own time, you can go back and have a look at it and choose what you want to choose, but just leave it as it is. It's fine. Access control. We got grant access to everyone authenticated users. Yes, we're going to leave every authenticated user. We're going to leave that as it is. Authentication key. These are two things that you're going to have. You'll have private and you'll have public. We're interested in the public key. So in the public key, we will export that key. And I've created a folder on my desktop. And I'm going to drop it into that folder. Now, what you would probably have to do is you could put it on a USB pen or a flash disk or a thumb drive, whichever one you want to call it. But if you don't have that available, just do what I just did now. Just create a folder on your desktop and just drop it into that folder. Then what we'll do is that we're going to add that to our OneDrive. So OneDrive is the cloud. So if you've got a Hotmail account, you can actually just click on the dots here and choose your OneDrive, and you can drop it into that OneDrive. That means when you go to the child's machine, you just log into your account and then you can pull it down. Okay, so it's here. That's this information here, and now I've got this key here that I'm going to bring across and I'll drop it in. That is now in the cloud. I can now go to another machine and log in. So I can then pull this key, and I'm going to need it in this area when I do the child's PC. So minimize that. Now, locations and computers. I've already got one machine installed on here. And as you can see, we've got 192.168.11. Okay, so that's a machine somewhere in the house. Now, to get that information, that is a child's machine. What we need to do is to find out how to get that information. When you go onto your child's machine, you will have to type in this area. Type here to see search. You're going to have to type in this area CMD, and I'll give you the command now. It's going to be ip_all, and you'll have your subnet mask and your IP address in the same area. When you see that subnet mask, you will know that just above it will be the IP address. Then that is what you will write out to put in that area. So I'll close that now, and we're going to be doing that a bit later. Programs and website, all that's not needed, and then we can just either hit apply, because you may have apply there, and so if you have, hit apply and then exit. So we're going to type in Veyon on our child's computer. We'll select the first thing that we see, which would be the Veyon.io, and download. Now, this is something I've already done, so I'm just going to go into the Veyon folder that I've got on my desktop and just run my application file. Now I'm going to select next. Then I'm going to agree. Then I'm going to use the default area. And this time I'm going to take off the Veyon master. This is what we need to take off on our child's computer, not our master's computer, but the child's computer. Now, before I click finish, what I've done is that I'm going in to press the CMD, which is taking us to command prompt. And I want to find out what my IP address. So I need the IP address for my machine. Okay, and that's what I'm going to take from here. And I'm going to select the 192.168.0.29, and that's going to say preferred. That's the information I need. I'm also going to need my computer name, which will be slightly above. You can put that in as well. I exit. I will then select finish. And I'm going to go through my Veyon configurator. Now, general, I'm going to select English. That's my preferred language. You may choose a language that's suitable for you. We're going to use the key file authentication just like in the master. We're going to use the built-in computer configuration. That's what we're using here. Then we're going to move on to services. Remember, you can pause at any point if you want to. You just pause and you can rewind to see what's happening. On the plugins, we're going to choose the built-in VNC server. And in the master, we will leave this as default. We don't have to change anything here. Come down to access control. User group backend. Now we're going to use the default system. Use the groups. That's what we're going to use. And then we will then move on to the authentication key. This is where we choose import key. Now, I put mine on the cloud. You may put yours on a thumb drive or a flash drive or a portable hard drive. That's up to you how you want to store it. But just remember where you've placed it. This is being put into the cloud just because of the fact that maybe I didn't have a USB pen or a hard drive or any device, portable device around. We are now inside the cloud and we are inside the Veyon folder that was created. So I've signed in and I've selected the folder and now I'm about to download. So I'm going to download the key. I will take it to a suitable location, which is on my desktop, which I've created a folder called Veyon, so it can be stored there. Now, let's go back in, import the key. Now I know what drive it is, I know where to go. I can go to my desktop, into the folder called Veyon, and then I can select the key. Key has been successfully implemented. That's fine. Location and programs, and that's all going to be left as default. We can let this run, and when it finishes, we can close down. That's all that's need to be done on the child's PC. We are now in the final leg of the setting up of Veyon. Let's go back into the Veyon configurator. Yes to that. And we need to go to locations and computer. Now I set up local. That's by clicking on this plus. You may set up one and call it home, or you might use your last name or whatever you want to. So that's a choice that you may want to think about, something you might want to think about. I've got local already here, so I'm going to delete this new location and just stick to this one that I have. I've got one computer in here, but now I need to add another. So I will go to this side, the right side, and I'm going to say add new computer. So the host name is what you needed to have taken down and the IP address. So for my host name, my one is quite long. You may have a short one on yours. but mine is desktop. And then I put in my figures. And then I'm going to add the IP address. Okay, so remember we took down the host name and the IP address. We add this in and we press apply. And then, yes, that will restart. And that's fine. Once that's done, we close this down and then we're going to open up Veyon Master. So opening up Veyon Master. And you can see we've got 2 units here now. Now, usually this tick would be off. So if it's off and you see nothing, just select it and your screens will come back. Or you may have a drop down box here which has the different ones, and maybe one of these may be switched off and you just switch it on. Now these are the things that you can do. You can lock the machine, you can remote view, so you can just look at what's taking place. You can then remote control, so you can take control of the unit. You can power on the unit, reboot the unit, power down. You can log in, log off, and you can send a text message. So if you see that your child is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, you can just send them a message saying, please get on with your work. Okay, so you can even send a file. So you may have some work that you may want to send to both machines or one machine. You can actually select them and you can send a file to the machines to say, this is something that you're supposed to be doing, and then they can fill out whatever it needs to be done. The same way that it's at the taskbar at the top, you can actually right click on it and it gives you the same options. Okay, so you can even screenshot it. It's there again. If you want to access it, now let's look at the accessing. I'm going to remote control. Now it says 2 things here. Please enter the host name or the IP address. Now you may not remember the IP address, but the host name is just here, right? So it says desktop-55v3u So in capital, or here on the right hand side, it's desktop.kkv, etc. So if I log on to the one that's doing something that it's not supposed to be doing, so if I use the caps lock, and that's my host name, it's 55v3uia, and I press enter, it takes me in. Now, somebody could say that I was doing my work because you can see my Google Classrooms up there, but I can see that you're actually looking at how to survive 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. So that's not your work, and I can shut it down. I can just take control of it, shut it down, and say, get on with your work. You see? So that's how you take control of the unit. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. I hope that it makes your life much more easier during this lockdown, and that your children can then get on with their work and do what they have to do. If you need any more information, please feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you. Thank you for watching.